So the first one I want to go over is probably the easiest to do, which is more of a shoulder jab. So this jab doesn't require much of your full body weight and energy. This one is the fastest, and it's usually just a little bit of turning of the waist with using your shoulder joint to shoot the jab out pretty fast. So if I'm facing this direction and I'm in my stance, when I throw that shoulder jab, I don't need to step in for the jab, wind up and generate all this power. Rather, I just flick the jab. It's more of a flicker jab. So I just go and just shoot it. But what I'm going to do when I shoot that jab out is I turn my wrist. I make a little bit of a rotation of the wrist. It adds a little bit more power and stability with my punch. Whenever you're doing variations of the jab that don't involve that much turning, it's because that variation has a purpose behind it. But for a standard flicker jab, we're just going to flick it forward. Flick it forward. Try to be as relaxed as possible, because relaxation equals speed, and speed equals power. So if I'm here facing camera, shoot the jab. Try not to telegraph too much or have a tell. Just shoot it out. And if I'm facing this direction. So it's more of a flicker jab. You can use that jab while you're traveling in different directions, and a lot of that involves when you're doubling up the jab or tripling up the jab. So if I'm using my shoulder joint for that flicker jab and I want to double it, I throw it, relaxed, bring it back, and throw it back again. There's a debate in terms of how far you want to bring it back to shoot it. It really depends on the person and what works, what looks best. But if we're here and I want to just throw 2 of those jabs, nice and relaxed. If I'm looking in the mirror here, there's a mirror on this side. What I'm doing is I'm looking at my nose, and when I punch, I want to cover my nose temporarily. So it's practicing for when I'm with an opponent. So if I double up the jab, I can do it stationary. Bah, bah. Or I can travel forward with it. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay? 1, 2. And then 1, 2. Okay? So my footwork when I do that, 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And 1, 2. Okay? So I implement that stepping, and that's when you're chasing. If I, with my opponent, and I want to chase him down, 1, 2. Often, as a combo, we chase him down with that double jab and then fire the cross. So we go 1, 2, 3. So we throw that flicker jab, bah, bah, boom, send the cross. Flicker jab, cross. We can go forward chasing somebody with those flicker jabs, or we can go backwards doing it. Somebody can chase us and then we throw the jabs. Bah, bah. Bah, bah. Footwork's a little different, right? I'm kind of moving the back first. Bah, bah, because I'm going backwards. Bah, bah. Bah, bah. And they're small steps, just little. It's a game of inches, especially when you're sparring or fighting. You don't want to evade, pursue more than you have to. Sometimes people will just bum rush and run in a sparring situation. Or when strikes are coming, they run way out of the way. But when I'm chasing with these jabs, I'm making little steps, just little steps, all that I need to get in that range. If I step too much, I end up crowding my opponent. I can get clinched, grabbed, thrown. I could fire back with the cross. I could even add a little step back as I cross. I tend to find that that's the best way to fire it as you're going back. People really struggle going backwards. Even if I am in my head too much, if I think about the footwork too much going backwards, I tend to mess up. The other way to work that flicker jab is go to the left. So instead of going straight or backwards, we go to the left. But we kind of go at this 45-degree angle when we're throwing that jab. We're not just going like left, left. We're kind of circling the opponent, okay? So I'm here, I'm moving to my left, but I'm making a little bit of a circle. Moving to my left, moving to my left, moving to my left. And notice I'm moving, I'm staying active, I'm not just rigid and stuck, because then it's hard to keep that movement. But this movement is not exhausting me, it's just keeping me nice and relaxed. And that's how you circle, and you could just keep circling. Is I apply that flicker jab going straight, forward, back, and to the left as well. Now, if I want to double up the jab, unless I have a situation where this bag is rocking back and I'm doubling up that way, doubling up here, which is a great drill. Unless I'm doing that drill, I have to go to the left. So when I go to the left, now I can move both feet. 1, 2. Now I'm doing that double jab. Notice on that one, I threw a little more power into it. You can also just flick, flick, flick. But if you want to throw a little bit more of that shoulder into it, you can do more power. Bah, bah. And implement that in with your jab. And once again, I could do this with 2, 3, 4 jabs. 1, 2, 3, 4. You just keep chasing. I'm still maintaining that distance. I'm not crowding myself when I'm throwing these punches. Thank you. My name is Gabriel Ruan. I'm a martial arts instructor and a stuntman in the film industry. So I do fight choreography as well. I teach in Orange County. So you can reach out to me if you're interested in private lessons, but I can also teach via Zoom, so more remote, if you're interested in that as well. Let me know what you think about these tutorials. Thank you.